a service of CNC Worldwide.
The Daily is a service of CNC and Jib Jab greetings. I'm Bud Lowell. Your full AccuWeather forecast is always on top of your CNC local page. The head of Monroe County's crime lab is out following release of a critical report from the New York State Inspector General's office. The report blames lab administrator Janet Anderson Sequist for blowing more than 40 criminal cases by returning evidence to local police agencies in the mistaken belief that the statute of limitations had expired in those cases. Acting Inspector General Catherine Leahy Scott's report said improper and irresponsible practices by management at the Monroe County Public Safety Laboratory led to key evidence in criminal cases, including a rape, being destroyed. The Inspector General said Anderson Sequist and a top member of her staff, neither of whom are lawyers, unilaterally determined that evidence in 270 criminal cases could not be tested because it was time-barred. The lab then returned that evidence to the referring law enforcement agencies, reporting that the cases were past the statute of limitations. But they were wrong about that in 41 cases. And by the time the Inspector General discovered the error, the evidence in a number of those cases had been destroyed. The Inspector General also found that Anderson Sequist misled the New York State Commission on Forensic Science about how a review of evidence from victims of 3 sex crimes was handled. County Executive Maggie Brooks' administration fired Anderson Sequist on Tuesday. She'd been lab administrator for 18 months. Senior Supervisor of Firearms John Clark was named acting director. County Public Safety Director Steve Bowman said the county obviously agrees with the conclusions in the report, and that's why Ms. Sequist no longer works for the county. Bowman says the county will set up an advisory panel including representatives of the District Attorney's Office and local law enforcement to coordinate their needs with the workings of the lab. Many teachers and parents came to the Greece Central School District's Board of Education meeting Tuesday night for the answer to this question: how did the 5 teacher layoffs included in the budget approved by voters last month turn into 18 layoff notices last week? One of the teachers notified June 7th that she would be let go is Lynn Lucarelli.
We question how enrollment numbers could have changed that dramatically in 3 weeks, or more specifically 6 days. How did this happen?
The district's answer is that kindergarten and elementary school enrollment numbers have come up much lower than predicted, so the district is following its usual policy, bumping the teachers with the lowest seniority to save money. If enrollments pick up over the summer, it will bring at least some of the laid-off teachers back. That led to another question from some of the downsized teachers and from Greece Teachers Association President Don Palazzi. How did the enrollment predictions go wrong?
We're trying to forge a relationship. We're trying to show our community that labor and management can work together, and this is a setback. This puts us, and it shows us how tenuous that bond is between the district and the union.
The answer to that one is that Greece Central has long used a formula based on birth data from the Monroe County Office of Vital Records and on census tract data to calculate how many kindergarten and elementary school children they'll have each year. Assistant Superintendent Carol Pallas says this year the projections were just plain wrong.
So with any forecasting method, there may be uncontrollable factors that affect the predictions, such as new construction, the job market, the economy, and so forth. Part of this as well was the consolidation process. As we worked through that, it pushed back the normal timeline of kindergarten registration to later in the year than it normally is. And that delays then getting our account of actual student enrollments versus those projections.
For whatever reasons, Dr. Pallas says the district has 690 enrolled kindergarten and elementary school students so far, where the formula predicted 953. To make sure this doesn't happen again, Greece School District officials say they will no longer use the birth and census data to calculate final budget numbers. Dr. Pallas says the district will also hold the staffing decision as late as possible to make sure the numbers are as accurate as possible. More news from Greece Central. The Board of Education also formally objected to a tax abatement deal for the mall at Greece Ridge Center. Wilmerite plans to demolish the old Bon-Ton store and redevelop that whole end of the mall. It's asking the County of Monroe Industrial Development Agency, COMIDA, to freeze the assessed value on 82 acres of mall property for the next 25 years to help support the project. Such a payment in lieu of taxes or pilot agreement would increase the tax payment to the school district by only 0.6% a year. School Board President Julia Van Orman says it's not clear to the school board why the entire mall should be included when only the northeast corner is being renovated. The board's resolution says the tax abatement should only be given for the Bon-Ton site. The Monroe County Legislature has approved a new law that outlaws cyberbullying. The bill makes it a misdemeanor to use any form of communications media or the internet to threaten, harass, or put any person under 18 years of age in fear of personal injury. Conviction under the county law would mean a fine of up to $1,000 and up to a year in the county jail. The Monroe County Health Department says it's confirmed a case of whooping cough in a student at Penfield High School. A letter went out to parents of Penfield High students this week notifying them of the diagnosis. Whooping cough, or pertussis, continues to be seen in Monroe County. The health department says pertussis is very contagious and can cause serious illness, sometimes death, in infants who have yet to be vaccinated and are unprotected. The health department says people in close contact with infants and young children should get a shot to stay healthy themselves and to prevent spreading the illness. And 28 School of the Arts students have been arrested by Rochester police on vandalism-related charges after the front of the school was sprayed with graffiti and covered in toilet paper. The school said more than 50 students took part in the mischief. Classes were held at the school as normal on Tuesday, but all senior activities were canceled, and police were brought in to investigate. SOTA principal Brenda Pacheco issued a statement saying, in part, "We are all deeply saddened by the thoughtless and illegal actions of these seniors. The entire SOTA community is disappointed by this unfortunate event. All students involved will be issued consequences that are yet to be determined." On this page, you can find links to these and other stories. At the bottom, in that gray bar, links to post your own news updates directly to us. Sports, salutes, birth announcements, whatever. Next news as it happens, updates when necessary. I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.